Hello, my friends. My name is Aaron, and I am very happy you are here with me today. This podcast is made for people who want to practice English in a slow and simple way. I will speak clearly and use easy words so that you can listen and understand step by step. Think of me as a friend sitting with you and talking about life, English, and the things that matter to all of us. Today, I want to talk about something very important. It is something that almost every person in the world struggles with, no matter their age, their job, or where they live. The topic is focus. Or, to say it in another way, why we cannot focus when we really want to. Have you ever sat down to study, to read, or to do some important work? But after a few minutes, you find yourself looking at your phone, opening many tabs on your computer, or even going to the kitchen to see what food is there? Yes, this happens to me too, and it happens to almost everyone. Sometimes it feels funny. I sit down to learn how to focus better, but instead of learning, I get distracted and end up watching some video that has nothing to do with what I wanted to do. For example, one day I wanted to search for tips on how to concentrate, and after 10 minutes, I was watching a cooking video about eggs that I never even planned to make. Maybe this has also happened to you. But here is the truth. If you cannot focus, it does not mean that you are lazy. It does not mean that something is wrong with you. The real reason is often much simpler. The truth is that the world around us is designed to take away our attention. Everywhere there are notifications, lights, sounds, ads, and people calling for our time. It is not that you are broken. It is that the world is full of things pulling your mind in different directions. In today's episode, we will talk about why focus is so difficult, what happens inside our brain when we lose focus, and how we can gently train our minds to bring back focus step by step. I say gently because I do not believe we should force ourselves too much. Focus is not about pushing hard. It is about learning to create the right environment and the right habits. So let us begin. First, I want to clear something very important. Many people think that if they cannot focus, it means they are lazy. But that is not true. The real reason is that our brains are overstimulated. This word overstimulated means that our brain is getting too much information at the same time. Imagine trying to listen to your friend, whispering while you are standing in the middle of a football stadium full of shouting people. Of course, you cannot hear the whisper. Your brain wants to listen, but there is just too much noise. And, in the modern world, we are always giving our brain too much. We scroll through social media, we switch between apps, we check one thing while thinking about another. Our poor brain never gets a rest. After a while, the brain becomes tired. Not because it is lazy, but because it is overloaded. It waves a little white flag, as if to say, "Please stop, I need a break." This is especially true when we are learning English. Many learners watch too many videos at once. They read subtitles, they switch between apps every minute, and then they feel tired and confused. This is not because they are bad at English. It is because their brain is trying to do too many things at one time. The brain then shuts the door and says, "No, I am done." So here is my first gentle tip for you. Try not to jump from one thing to another. If you are watching a video, just watch that one video. If you are practicing vocabulary, just practice those words. Do not try to do listening, reading, speaking, and grammar all at the same moment. Pick one thing and stay with it. Focus is not something we force. It is something we practice, slowly, step by step. Even if you give only 10 minutes of quiet and focused listening, that is much better than 1 hour of distracted listening. Remember this. 10 minutes of true focus is more powerful than 60 minutes of noise. Now let us talk about something we often forget. That is the environment around us. If you are trying to study in a place that is noisy, full of people talking, or full of things that distract you, then of course your brain will not focus. It is like asking someone to run a race with their shoes tied together. It is not that the person is weak, it is that the environment is making it impossible. Think of this example. Imagine you are trying to read a book while standing in the middle of a busy street. Cars are passing, people are shouting, music is playing. It will not work, not because you cannot read, but because the environment is wrong. The same is true when learning English. If your phone is buzzing with messages, if the TV is on, if your desk is messy, your brain will get distracted before you even start. So my advice is to create a small focus zone. It does not have to be big or perfect. Maybe just a clean table, some headphones, and 15 minutes without messages. That small space becomes a signal to your brain that says, "This matters. Let us be here now." And when you do that, your brain listens. Focus comes more easily. There is another problem many people face. We confuse being busy with being productive. Just because your schedule is full and your to-do list is long does not mean you are actually learning or moving forward. It is like running on a treadmill. You sweat, you move, but you are not going anywhere. Many English learners fall into this trap. They watch 10 videos, they write 50 new words, they try to do everything in one day, but at the end, nothing really stays in their mind. That is not deep learning. That is just surface activity. Here is a better way. Less noise, more depth. Instead of writing 50 words, try to learn 5 words deeply. Say them out loud. Make sentences with them. Repeat them again and again. Those 5 words will stay with you much longer than 50 words you only looked at once. Learning is like building a wall. You place one brick at a time, carefully, and over time the wall becomes strong. If you throw many bricks without care, the wall will fall. So do not measure your English progress by how much you do. Measure it by how well you understand and remember what you do. And here is another secret about focus. Your brain needs meaning. If you do not know why you are doing something, your brain will resist it. For example, if you sit down and study grammar rules, but you feel no reason behind it, your brain will ask, "Why am I doing this?" And when there is no clear reason, focus disappears. So give your English practice a purpose. Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to talk to a friend. Maybe you want to get a job. Or maybe you just want to watch your favorite show without subtitles. Connect your learning to something real. When you do this, focus comes naturally. It is like your brain finally says, "Ah, now I understand why this matters." Now, let us talk about a very common misunderstanding about focus. Many people believe that focus should just appear naturally. They think it is like a magical feeling that suddenly arrives when the time is right. But this is not true. Focus is not a mood, it is a muscle. And just like any muscle in your body, it grows stronger only when you train it regularly. Think about this. If you go to the gym and try to lift a very heavy weight on your first day, it will be impossible. You need to start small, practice again and again, and slowly your strength will increase. In the same way, focus does not suddenly arrive. You need to build it with small steps. So here is a simple tip you can use. Set a timer for 10 minutes. During these 10 minutes, do one thing only. Put away your phone, close the other apps, and just listen to one English audio clip, or read one short article, or practice 5 words. 10 minutes may sound small, but it is like a workout for your brain. If you repeat this daily, those 10 minutes will slowly become 15, then 20, then 30. You will notice that your focus becomes stronger, not because you forced it, but because you trained it like a muscle. Now, I want to shift the topic for a moment and talk about the body. Many times we think focus is only about the mind. But the truth is, The mind and the body are connected. If your body feels tired, stiff, or weak, your mind will also feel heavy and unfocused. Think about how you feel after sitting in front of a screen for hours. You start to feel foggy, sleepy, or frustrated. This is because your brain is part of your body. When you move your body, even a little, your blood flows better and your brain gets more oxygen. Suddenly, your thoughts become clearer, like a window being cleaned. Imagine a snow globe. When you shake it, the white flakes move everywhere and you cannot see clearly. But when you stop shaking and let the flakes settle, you can see through the glass. The same happens when you give your body a little movement. So if you feel stuck while learning, try this. Go for a short walk while listening to English, or stand up and stretch, or even speak out loud while walking around your room. Learning does not have to mean sitting still. In fact, movement often makes your memory stronger and your focus sharper. But let me share something very important with you. Many people depend only on willpower to focus. Willpower means the strength to force yourself to do something even when you do not feel like it. But willpower is like a battery. It runs out. In the morning, you may have energy to fight distractions. But as the day goes on, the battery becomes empty. If you only depend on willpower, you will eventually feel tired and give up. What you need instead is not willpower but systems. A system is like a small routine or habit that makes focus automatic. Think about brushing your teeth. You do not debate every morning whether you should brush or not. You just do it because it has become a system in your life. The same can happen with learning English. For example, every morning after breakfast, you can listen to 5 minutes of English. Or every night before sleeping, you can read one short English story. If you do this at the same time every day, it becomes automatic. You do not need to think or fight with yourself. It is just part of your daily life. Over time, these small habits create big results. You no longer ask yourself, "Should I study today?" You simply do it. Focus becomes your natural state, not a daily struggle. This is the real secret. Success is built on systems, not on willpower alone. Now let me connect this idea with learning English more deeply. Many learners try to study for long hours once in a while. They wait for the weekend, then they say, "Today I will study for 3 hours." But after 1 or 2 times, they feel tired and stop. This is because they rely on willpower. A better way is to study for short periods every single day. Even 5 minutes a day is more powerful than 3 hours once a week, because it creates a habit. So here is my challenge to you. Choose one small habit that you can repeat every day. Maybe listening to one English song. Maybe reading 1 page of a book. Maybe practicing 3 new words. Do this daily, and you will see how your focus grows without stress. Now let me share another truth about focus. Focus is not about being perfect. Many people think, if I lose focus, it means I failed. No, that is not true. Losing focus is normal. What matters is learning how to return to focus again and again. Think of focus like meditation. In meditation, people often lose their thoughts, but then they gently bring their attention back to the breath. The same method works with study. When you lose focus, do not get angry at yourself. Just return gently to the task. This gentle return is the real practice. Every time you bring yourself back, you are training your brain. Over time, you will lose focus less often, and your ability to return will be faster. Another important thing to understand is that distractions are not always outside of us. Sometimes the distraction comes from inside our own mind. Maybe you sit down to study, and suddenly you remember a problem from work, or you start thinking about what you will eat for dinner. This is normal. The brain does not like silence, so it creates thoughts to keep busy. When this happens, do not fight with your thoughts. Just notice them, smile, and gently bring yourself back to the task. Imagine you are training a small puppy. The puppy runs away, but you gently bring it back again and again. That is how we train the mind. Now let us talk about another mistake. Many people believe that multitasking is a good skill. They think, I can study while listening to music, checking my phone, and eating food at the same time. But the truth is, multitasking does not mean doing many things well. It means doing many things badly. Your brain cannot give full attention to two tasks at once. Imagine pouring water into 2 cups at the same time. Some water goes here, some goes there, but none of the cups becomes full. This is what happens when you multitask. You give little attention to each task, and at the end, nothing is complete. So if you want to focus, choose one thing and give your full attention to it. Let me give you an example with English learning. Suppose you are watching an English video. If you are also checking your phone, the words will not enter your memory. But if you give your full attention, you will understand more, remember more, and improve faster. Quality is always better than quantity. And finally, let us talk about rest. Many people forget that rest is part of focus. If you never rest, your brain becomes tired and refuses to work. Focus is not about working nonstop. Focus is about working in the right rhythm. Work for some time, then take a short break. For example, study for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. This method is called the Pomodoro technique, and it really helps many people stay focused. During your break, do not scroll social media, because that will overstimulate your brain again. Instead, drink some water, stretch, or just close your eyes for a few minutes. When you return, your brain will be fresh and ready to focus again. Now let us go even deeper into this topic of focus. We already talked about how focus is like a muscle, how your body and mind work together, how systems are better than willpower, and why rest is important. But there are still more things that can help us understand why we lose focus and how we can improve it step by step. One important truth is that our brain always looks for reward. It wants something that feels good, something that gives pleasure. This is why we get distracted so easily by our phone. Every time a notification appears, our brain feels curious. Maybe it is a message. Maybe it is a new like. Maybe it is something exciting. That small reward pulls our attention away from the task we are doing. So how can we fight this? The answer is not to fight, but to design better rewards. For example, if you want to study English for 20 minutes, give yourself a small reward after finishing. Maybe a cup of tea, maybe listening to your favorite song, maybe 5 minutes of rest. When your brain connects focus with a reward, it becomes easier to repeat. This is the same method that teachers use with children. When a child does something well, they give a sticker or some praise. The child feels happy and wants to do it again. You can do the same with yourself. Create small rewards for focus, and slowly your brain will begin to enjoy the habit. Another big reason people cannot focus is because they try to make their goals too big. For example, someone says, I want to become fluent in English this year. That is a very big goal, and when you look at it, your brain feels afraid. It feels too heavy, too far, too difficult. So what happens? You avoid it. You watch videos, you open apps, you clean your room, anything to escape from the heavy goal. The solution is to make your goals smaller. Instead of saying, I will learn English perfectly, you can say, today I will learn 5 new words, or today I will listen to 1 English story. These small steps feel light, easy, and clear. When you finish them, you feel good, and you build confidence. Over time, small steps create big progress. Remember this simple line: big goals create pressure, small goals create focus. Now let us talk about your environment again, but in a different way. Earlier, I said it is good to have a quiet space with fewer distractions. But another important thing is to make your study area clean and simple. A messy desk, a cluttered room, or too many things around you can confuse your mind. It is like opening too many tabs on your computer. Your brain does not know where to look. So before you start studying, take 2 minutes to clean your space. Put away things you do not need. Have only your notebook, your pen, and maybe your phone if you are using it for learning. When the space is clear, your mind also becomes clear. Another tool that can help focus is using time blocks. Instead of saying, "I will study whenever I have time," choose a fixed time every day. Maybe in the morning before breakfast, maybe in the evening after dinner. When you always study at the same time, your brain begins to expect it. It becomes natural, like brushing your teeth. Let me also tell you about the importance of sleep. Many people think they cannot focus because they are lazy, but the real reason is often lack of sleep. When you do not sleep enough, your brain is tired, your memory is weak, and your focus disappears. Sleep is like charging your phone battery. If you do not charge it, it will not work well. So if you want better focus, take care of your sleep. Now let us think about something more positive. Focus is not only about avoiding distraction, it is also about finding joy in the task itself. If you enjoy what you are doing, focus comes naturally. For example, if you watch a funny English video that you really like, you will not feel distracted. You will watch with full attention because you enjoy it. So ask yourself, how can I make learning English more enjoyable? Maybe by listening to songs you like. Maybe by reading stories that are interesting. Maybe by watching movies with subtitles. When you connect focus with joy, it no longer feels like hard work. But what about the times when you really cannot focus at all? What should you do then? My advice is to take one very small action. For example, if you cannot study for an hour, just study for 5 minutes. If you cannot write a whole page, just write one sentence. Often, the hardest part is starting. Once you start, the mind begins to flow. And soon you are doing more than you expected. This is called the 2-minute rule. If something feels too big, just start for 2 minutes. Many times you will continue after that, because the hardest step was beginning. Another good method is to use your energy wisely. Some people focus better in the morning, some in the evening. Notice when your energy is highest, and use that time for your most important tasks. If you try to study when you are already tired, your focus will be weak. But if you choose the right time, your focus will be strong. Now I want to share one more very important idea. Focus is not about perfection. It is about kindness. Be kind to your mind. Do not punish yourself when you lose focus. Do not say, "I am bad, I am lazy." Instead, smile and try again. Every person in the world loses focus. Even the greatest thinkers, writers, and scientists get distracted. The difference is that they learn how to return to focus again and again. So do not wait for the perfect day, the perfect place, or the perfect mood to study. Start where you are, with what you have, even if it is just 5 minutes. Step by step, you will grow. And remember this. Learning English is not only about words and grammar. It is also about training your mind to stay present, to pay attention, and to enjoy the process. When you train focus in English, you also train focus in your life. You become better at work, better at listening to people, better at living in the moment. So my dear friends, let us end this episode with a simple summary. Focus is not a gift, it is a practice. The world around you is full of distractions, but you can create your own small space of attention. Start with small steps. Use systems, not just willpower. Move your body, rest your mind, and reward yourself. Make your environment clean, your goals small, and your study joyful. And above all, be kind to yourself when you lose focus. I believe in you. You have the power to train your focus and improve your English day by day. Do not rush, do not force. Just keep moving gently, and your focus will grow stronger like a muscle. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope today's episode gave you clarity, encouragement, and some simple steps you can use in your daily life. Remember, you are not alone in this. We are learning together. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay positive, and keep practicing. Your English will grow, your focus will grow, and so will you.